Do you get those?
The zoning changes, no.
So I mean,
That's another issue.
and I guess, why not?
Well, because they don't deal with the zoning, they're dealing with the use. We're not changing the use, we're changing the zoning.
Right, I understand that. I guess my question is, or my concern is that there's clearly miscommunication as far as you go to one and then you go to the other. And I don't know if, I've never looked any of this stuff up as far as going to those things, so I don't know for sure. But it seems to me like there should be, like Brad was saying, there should be, the land use code is this, and the zone code should be this on that website. It seems to me like this is kind of a no-brainer. If we put them on the same website, then it's crystal clear. You got a land use code, you got a zoning code. And then there's no, there's no miscommunication as far as that goes. We're here to try to make, the future of Ely and White Pine County better. And if we have situations like this where we look like a mess,
Well,
or lack of thing,
Let me give you an example.
yeah,
Because of our city ordinances and the county ordinances, mobile homes can now be placed into a residential area. In other words, an R zone. But if you go to the assessor's website and look up that, it's not gonna say that it's a single family dwelling or a house. It'll say that it's a manufactured home, whether it's in commercial or real property. That's how it will state it.
sure. I understand that. I guess what I was saying is if they were both put on the same website, if they were both put up there, so you looked at that, again, I'm out of the dark here, but if I was looking at buying a piece of property, I would wanna click on something and look at both of those and see both the land use code and the zoning code at the same point, instead of having to go back and forth.
Could you do a cross-reference within that kind of a system?
Well, no, to answer your question, but I mean, I'm speaking, I guess, for Brad and Jenny, is we would love to do that. I think this would be a goal for us to have all these things, and now that I have a new computer system that kind of works, it's been, I had hair last July, just so you know. But, it's just a manpower thing, and that's kind of why I put in that little diagram about our office, and then the same thing for the building department. It's just a time and manpower to put all these in for over 9,000 properties.
And I don't think anybody here is gonna question that at all.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that these things are brought to light so that we can plan on it as a long-term goal, and that's basically where we need to
It
go.
is, and it has been on our list of projects. I mean, we continually are trying to improve what we do. I have a list every year, and so when things get a little slower, we start working on the next thing to improve. So it is something we want to do, and I totally empathize with Brad and the realtors on it, because it is a challenge. It's a challenge for people, and we recognize that. It's a slow process, and then if we want to do it, like I mentioned on some of our county stuff, we have a layer for zoning. Well, we got the initial on, but that doesn't include all the properties outside of the city limits. It has a lot, but we need to update that, and so then it's the manpower of GIS. And if you see on that, I have 4 people, and they're talking about cutting one of them right now. But we do our GIS in-house. We're the only county in the entire state that has, have one of my employees, and thank goodness she has some training, and she's doing the GIS. No other county in the state is in that situation. They're either contracting it all out, which is great, but again, money, or they have, every county that's above us in population has somebody, that's their job for the county, is doing GIS. So it's just, we're just stuck in a tough situation. So we will get there. It's just, I can't tell you when.
Yeah,
Okay.
So.
yeah, but it's for the future.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wasn't asking you to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just,
Like 5:30 tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, right. So if we start working on organizing the things that we know we're going to have to look at, update, work with whoever we need to work with, we could work with Burton on some situations that would help him as well as help us get this whole county straightened out where the zoning regulations
I think,
are and all of
you
this
know,
stuff.
one solution, you know, I don't wanna just tell you problems, but one
Go for it.
solution is it's a data entry thing. It's not a super hard thinking job to do this. You just need just manpower. It's like, I don't know if we could hire, you know, if you as a board or you and me and Brad together, we could say, can we get, you know, seasonal help? Somebody to come in and work between our offices and, I mean, I can get them set up to enter the stuff in on parcels.
There should be a way to, without having both of them side by side, do an external link. I used to design websites where you would link to another page. It's just database basically.
We don't have any of the zoning electronically.
Okay.
It's all on paper.
So that's what would have to be done first, is to.
Yeah, to say, okay, here's the map of this area, here's the parcels that are in it, make a list of that, and then go
I think
into the
that's kind
computer.
of, yeah, that's the information that we're trying to get from you, is where basically we're at right now as far as.
No,
as-
we'll do a sort of merge on it.
So I mean, it's just a lot of menial data
Yeah.
work on it.
I think we all understand and empathize with the, we have a lot of empathy towards, you know, preferably eating the elephant, one bite at a time, but I think that all of us on here are willing to all take our own bites of it if we
Yeah,
can.
we need to start doing this.
And I think we're, I mean, and it's not just in this situation, but we're in so many situations where we're big enough that we need certain things, but we're small enough that we can't afford them.
Right.
And we just, so, you know, you look at those populations of different counties, I mean, we're not I mean, we have, I think Pershing is at 6,500, they're the next closest county. And then you have Humboldt at 17,000, they're the next highest on the high end. And there's a big gap, and we're just, White Pine, we're terminally unique at times.
That's it, I'm gonna quote you on that one, I like that.
So this can be, you know, it could be something that if we get our other priorities done for our office, we can start taking those bites of the
We
elephant.
start taking this on a chunk by chunk basis,
Mhm.
instead of doing helter-skelter all over the place, take it
Well,
piece at a time.
and that's how we do the work in our office.
Start with
when
the
we do our
elephant's foot
reappraisal.
first and go from there.
We do it in groups.
Well,
It's smaller. So if in fact this board sets up a time where we have one extra meeting a month that is a working meeting only, it's not for doing any of the other stuff that we do at this meeting, could we get moving forward on this type of thing that would help us as well as helping Burton or Brad or whoever to get all of this straightened out as we go along?
I mean,
Work on one item at a time or something.
yeah, do these have to be termed as a public meeting, or are they just mainly?
Yes.
They would
It
still
would still
have to
be
be,
public,
Okay,
but you can still have them as work meetings,
yeah,
but
but it
Still
could be
be
a work
public.
meeting and the public would be welcome to come and say, okay, this is what I know. Maybe they'll have some information that we don't know that would help us move forward.
Well, here, let me give my 2 cents real quick, because you guys are already doing it. I mean, if you look down your agenda at item D is asking White Pine County to rezone certain areas
exactly.
to allow tiny homes, and that's huge. I have questions about that when we get to it, but that's exactly what we're looking for. I mean, what I'm hearing from our assessor is that the code that he uses is dependent on the type of structure that's there, regardless of whether the city or the county screwed up and allowed that structure to be there when it should be zoned for that. The zoning part is up to you guys and the individual governing bodies, i.e. the city or the county, to fix those zoning situations, whether it's like you actually put grandfather in the code itself, and then we just slam the door on that. So it's commercial except for these 5 buildings, and then that way when somebody goes to get financing or a title report, it's clear to those companies that that house is supposed to be there, it can be there, and nothing's gonna change. So,
Yeah, I agree with Brian.
I have a feeling- I'm sorry?
I agree with you. I'm not sure what an extra meeting would do. It sounds like we need someone to put the databases together, first and foremost.
Well, and I think that's if we had the person, that's something I think that the building department, the assessor's office can work out and then just kind of present to you or something. I did have one other quick aside. I have an aerial photography program that we use that if you guys are interested in, just let me know and I can set you up and show you kind of how to use it. It might be beneficial for your work that you do. I know when George uses it, he comes in and we get stuff. I can print you off anything, but you guys can also use it and navigate around.
I think that's good, because the last meeting we printed off, on the Baker property, it was a little bit more clear with Google Earth or Google Maps or whatever, so yeah, I think that'd be a valuable tool for us on.
Yeah.
And my pictures are
Get a more
getting a lot
physical look
better
at it.
Yeah,
quality, so.
okay, thank
So
you.
if you guys wanna just get your emails, give them to Jennifer and phone numbers, and I can get with her and kind of call you and meet with you and get you set up on that. So, any other questions or?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to call our office, call me, either in the field or at the office usually. So, Carol knows how to get a hold of me.
Yes, I do.
Vernon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item D, discussion for possible action on recommendation from the commission to White Pine County on modifying the zoning codes to allow for the building of a single-family dwelling or tiny house on White Pine County lots that is designated 25 foot by 100 foot. Submitted by Brad Simpson.
Well, we can just have discussion on this for now, but the issue is that we don't have a lot of homes for sale anymore. We have a lot of small lots that are available. They're in the city, and some outside the city that are even worse to deal with. But if they have access to the power, water, and sewer, tiny homes are becoming quite a big issue in large metropolitan areas for allowing people to get into homes. And we have a severe need. I'm not sure of all the issues that Brad or Brian will bring up. But if it could be done to allow these homes to be built on permanent foundations, I'm not talking about the park model tiny homes, I'm talking about a permanent home. And to see how we can work towards that.
Some of the homes.
Hey, Brad, can I ask you a question? I'm
Sure.
sorry to interrupt. So the item is agendized as a recommendation to the county, but the backup material is related to city code. Was that just an example, or was it intended to be an item directed toward the city?
It was just an example. I just,
Okay.
get information
So
on it.
what we could do would be great, and it's really goes to, you guys should be patting yourselves on the back. There's a lot to get into, and we all know it. I'd like to hear, we can approve this recommendation. The recommendation is gonna look like some sort of a letter or, even an email to the county commission, getting this issue before them to change their law, okay? But you guys are the ones with the actual expertise, and so I'd like to hear what particular zones this commission would be asking to have changed to allow homes of a smaller size on. As that goes forward, you're not gonna do it tonight, obviously, but that's something to think about. If it's approved tonight, if there is gonna be a recommendation from this board, we say, look, we want it in R whatever, or this particular zone, and that's it. We want it on an option on all of them. And so the county commission knows exactly what you're asking for.
Okay, well then I'm gonna recommend that we kind of table this for now, until I can get more information from Brad and on land use, or the code uses and stuff in the city and the county.
Yeah.
If you're on Mill Street, there are quite a few of the lots that are that size, and they actually do have homes on them now that, have been there for 100 years, some of them.
Like just up the street from the city hall.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And we had a house next door to us at one time that was, one room was brought in from somewhere else planted on the land on cement, and then my husband's grandfather added another room on top of the cement, so it had a basement under it. It was, I think, 14 feet wide and 60 feet long, but it was on a narrow piece of land, and it worked really well for a home for a lot of people. There was 50 or so different families that lived in that home that I know of. And I've always wondered why the city wouldn't allow that type of home. They used to call them shotgun homes, because you could shoot through the front door and go out the back door and miss everything. But it's, you know, to me, logic needs to be a big part of what we do. We, not just, oh, we can't do this because we've done it this way all our lives.
Just
We
filling the
need to
need.
really look at the needs and what can be accomplished and what people will like and enjoy and be able to live.
Yeah,
Well said, yeah.
yeah,
You
filling
add
the need of
people, you
people
know.
getting into affordable housing here.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a lot of young people that, they can't afford to go buy a 4-bedroom, 6-bathroom house in the beginning, but they could move into a small home like that and work towards getting a larger one as their family grows.
I mean, our place is a little over 500 feet, you know?
And there's some, I hate to say it, architecturally, there's some very nice tiny homes that would accommodate this community. And they could either be built standalone or on top of a garage to keep parking and stuff adequate for the community, so. That's what I'm hoping we'll look into and see what we can do to get it going.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think Brad Christensen would be the guy to answer a lot of it. I didn't delve into it too deeply, but apparently it's an issue with the meeting code with that small space to fit everything that needs to be fit. So I guess it seems like there should be a code specific for tiny homes. I'm not sure if that exists or not.
It does in other communities.
Yeah.
They've adapted to some of it.
That was my biggest question is, were codes, do we have codes in this community that would fit into this?
Yeah.
Not at this
Right
point,
now.
I don't think, simply because of the fact that we've been pretty wide open and the zoning wasn't done that many years ago, and most everything that's here now, except for the brand new ones, are grandfathered in because they've been here for 75 or 100 years.
Yeah.
Where you run into problems, we do have, because we've accepted the International Residential Code,
Mhm.
we do have codes that will give us the sizes, minimum sizes, and they're quite small. They're less than 500 square feet.
Oh,
Very
well,
cool.
good.
That's cool.
Okay.
The problems that you run into is that on those small lots is, again, it's gonna be the setbacks and the fire rate.
Right.
That's where you run into the problem. It's not, you know, the size of the house, it's gonna be where it lies in relation to the lot next to it.
Well, the max we could have is a 15-foot wide house.
Depends on,
Yes,
well,
yes.
many of these tiny homes are
Less
15
than
foot or
that.
less, yeah.
Yeah,
And many of them
But
are,
when you're talking the definition of a tiny home, I mean, basically, I mean, those are only, 10 feet wide.
Yeah. They go past my house quite
yeah,
regularly.
pursuant upon the footprint of the house itself, yeah.
Yeah.
well, I guess I
So
mean,
my recommendation would be to take and give, the setback from the front and rear, get those changed, because right now, it's 25 in the back and 20 in the front. But what you have left on those is not, you're on a lot that's 2,500 square feet, you don't have much property left.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah,
So you built, like Carol's talking about, a shotgun home, they're long and skinny.
yeah,
Very much so.
Yes,
and I understand the reason for
but it
that.
can't be done.
Okay, I guess that'll be something we can look into, or I can look into, and work with Brad on what codes need to be looked at and how they can be changed. I'll be happy to buy you a cup of coffee to discuss that.
hear that,
That's
hear
not
that,
a
Brad?
bribe, that's not a bribe.
I I think it's a great idea.
So,
We'll just make this a continuing discussion.
so we're tabling this for continued discussion then.
You could go either way. I mean, if there's no motion for action, then it could just be a discussion item for tonight. You don't have to do anything to table it.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, it was just discussion then.
okay. Very good. So we strike the possible action and part out of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. On to the next, item E, approval of minutes from the Regional Planning Commission held April 15th, 2020.
And I have some things on it, nothing really drastic, but in reading through it, I found two or three things that I thought just needed a little tweaking. And in the process, looked and went, oh, because I was trying to figure out where they were to write them down. No page numbers, can you possibly put a page number on the pages? I can count, but you know, it might be a little easier if there's page numbers. And then on page 2, under B, under the second paragraph under B, I was reading that through and it says that I still maintains the required 5 acres. I think it should be it. And then if you go down to the third line below that, Buzz replied there were none along the project, the boundary, should be along the project boundary. And then I underlined member bath because I got looking at it and went, wait a minute, we have 2 baths.
Which one,
bath
right?
is it?
I saw that too.
Vice chairman and member.
And that finally dawned on me after getting through it a ways. I thought,
One's
oh,
vice,
that's
one's vice
the
chairman
reason.
and the other one's the other guy.
Yeah. But you know,
Path 2.
it threw me for a loop for a minute until it finally hit that, oh, member Bath is Andy. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay.
And we're going to skip the formalities and just be done and do some.
Hey, I have no problem with that one, anyway you want to do it. And then, on page, and I was gonna look this up on the dictionary, and I forgot to do that, because my husband decided he needed to do something with a computer that he has going on. On page, give me a second, find it here. It's the under E, they're talking about RA1 and 2.5, 2.5, and I don't remember the page number. I don't have the page number. Yes, it is. Page 6,
Second from the last page.
yeah, page 6 actually, which is the third from the last page. About 1, 2, 3, 9 rows up from the bottom. It has Chairman Chartalis asked whose preview would that fall under? Should it not be purview?
Yeah, purview.
It should be purview, P-E-R instead of P-R-E. And I do that a lot, to reverse my letters, so. Sorry, but I'm a,
No, that's fine.
and then on the next page, 7 lines down, is that the people may have come in, bought the place? Is it and bought the place? Remember Beth said the reality of it is that the people may have come in and that's it.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes with the amendments that Carol has made, or the corrections there.
I'll second that.
You don't second.
Okay, then
You're
you,
the chair.
somebody, one of you guys second.
I'll second that.
Okay,
You can second it, but only if nobody else will.
I didn't hear anybody jumping.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Do we have a motion and a second to approve the meeting, minutes from last month's meeting? Do I hear a vote of, all those say aye?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Passed unanimously. Okay. Next item, public comment. For all you folks out there.
We lost everybody but George.
Okay.
Is he waiting for somebody online, or?
You need,
No.
you
You,
need somebody.
you have comment, George?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
You need our loud mouth.
In regards to zoning, in particular, where your office is, Brad, that used to be residential. Then it went commercial. Then it went back to residential. Then it went back to commercial. And then you bought it,
It's commercial.
but it hasn't changed. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anybody on Main Street, a lot of the homes are, or were zoned commercial, simply because there was only so much commercial available, and it was expensive then. And it's incumbent on those that are buying to check the zoning first. In regards to those animals out in Fairview Lane, again, I want to remind you that according to the last report, animal control, not one citation. No, when I say discrimination, I had animals down in Central Lady for years. Then I bought an empty lot that had a lot of weeds, hired a person to come and clean them out. He says, before I do that, let me graze my goats on there. And I said, okay, go ahead and do that. But let me tell you, I'm a lightning rod, and if there's any trouble, you gotta get them off. And I was cited. Yet, 75 feet away, there's horses, cows, jackasses, and nothing was done. And that needs to stop. Either we have rules and regulations, and I'm not completely against everything you folks are doing, but don't do it selectively. And that's the biggest problem in this community, other than Brad. Christians. Mr. Chairman, I want to remind you, and Mrs. McKenzie, she has yet to correct her non-ADA compliant sidewalk and run. She knows better.
It's
If
compliant.
she doesn't comply, she needs to resign.
It's been approved by the county.
She has no business sitting on a
and
board
building
that
inspector.
sets standards and then intentionally ignores the law when it pertains to her. This board cannot look the other way. Again, discrimination, folks. Mr. Chairman, we have yet to address the offensive signs on the junkyard located on the north end of Altman near the Holiday Inn. The city of the county is not projecting a good image. The Main Street program needs to clean up its act or fade away. We spend all this money to make ourselves look good. We got Blomey, grow some bigger canisters on one end, and on the other hand, we have hot and sexy girls open 24 hours. Can't have it both ways, folks. I don't want this city to get a dime if we can't clean up our act. I don't want to hire some idiot to come in and say, oh, if you clean up there and clean up here. No, save that money. Let's pave streets, fix sidewalks, so on and so forth. Common sense. Many of you folks have lived here for years. The newbies, let's address the problems.
That's time, George.
Okay, time's up.
Thank you, George. We'll catch you next time.
This is one of 2 citations. Better not happen again.